Hey guys, this is Manish and you are watching my channel Pharma Bullet. This is the next part of our new series which is for DHA exam for pharmacist and pharmacy technician. And this series is going to be very helpful for those who are preparing for DHA exam. And this video contains some exam oriented questions and some previous exams questions too. So let's start. Which of the following drug should be avoided when administering calcium supplements? Ciprofloxacin, acetaminophen, tetracyclines, both A and C. Which of the following drugs should be avoided when administering calcium supplements? And the correct answer of this question is option D, both A and C. Ciprofloxacin and tetracyclines should be avoided when administering calcium supplements because some drugs are interacts with calcium supplements and calcium can reduce the absorption of such drugs. These drugs are tetracyclines, levothyroxine, bisphosphonates, quinolone antibiotic, and these drugs should be avoided with calcium supplements. And ciprofloxacin is quinolone antibiotic. So option D will be your correct answer. Next question. The treatment of choice for acute gout is allopurinol, probenecid, febuxostat, indomethacin. Treatment of choice for acute gout. And the correct answer of this question is option D, indomethacin. The drug of choice for acute gout are non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, corticosteroids and indomethacin. These drugs are used to treat acute gouty attacks. So the correct answer of this question is indomethacin. Okay, next question. Glucocorticoid used in bronchial asthma, suppression therapy, Addison's disease, all of the above. And the correct answer of this question is option D, all of the above. Glucocorticoid used in bronchial asthma, suppression therapy and Addison's disease too. And Addison's disease is due to hyposecretion of adrenal gland. Okay, next question. Which of the following drugs should be indicated for a woman with high level of T3 and T4 and low TSH, low thyroid stimulating hormone? Levothyroxine, althroxine, methimazole or all of the above? What will be the answer? So high level of T3 and T4 and low TSH, low thyroid stimulating hormone is an indication of hyperthyroidism and drug of choice in hyperthyroidism is methimazole. So answer of this question is methimazole. Option C will be your correct answer. Methimazole. Okay. And this levothyroxine and althroxine are the drug of choice for hypothyroidism. Okay. Next question. Difference between captopril and other ACE inhibitors. Mode of action, site of action, potency, both A and B. Difference between captopril and other ACE inhibitors. And the correct answer of this question is option C, potency. Captopril, lisinopril, enalapril, ramipril, fosinopril, these all are ACE inhibitors, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. Okay, next question. Which of the following drugs is safe to use in pregnancy? Estrogen, bromocriptine, lithium or probenecid? Which of the following drugs is safe to use in pregnancy? And the correct answer is probenecid. Option D will be your correct answer. Probenecid is safe to use in pregnancy. Estrogen is female sex hormone. Bromocriptine is dopamine D2 agonist used in treatment of Parkinsonism, prolactinoma and infertility. Lithium is used in bipolar disorders and probenecid is a uricosuric drug used in the treatment of chronic gout and it is safe to use in pregnancy. Next question. Diuretic that can cause ototoxicity and deafness is furosemide, hydrochlorothiazide, spironolactone, all of the above. Diuretic that can cause ototoxicity and deafness. And the answer will be option A, furosemide. Furosemide can cause ototoxicity and deafness. Ototoxicity, hyperuricemia, hypotension, hypokalemia, then hypomagnesemia are the side effects of furosemide. And furosemide is a loop diuretic. Hydrochlorothiazide is thiazide diuretic. Spironolactone is potassium sparing diuretic. And aminoglycoside antibiotics also cause ototoxicity. Okay, next question. Which of the following skeletal muscle relaxant can be used in patient with hepatic and renal failure? Pancuronium, doxacurium, vicuronium, atracurium. And answer of this will be option D, atracurium. Option D will be your correct answer. Atracurium is a skeletal muscle relaxant and can be used in patient with hepatic and renal failure. and these all are peripherally acting skeletal muscle relaxants and non-depolarizing neuromuscular blocking agent. Okay, next question. Which of the following antifungal agents used for candidiasis? Fluconazole, itraconazole, ketoconazole, terbinafine. And the correct answer of this question is option A, fluconazole. Fluconazole used for candidiasis. And fluconazole comes under triazole class of antifungal agents. Itraconazole also comes under triazole class of antifungal agents, and ketoconazole comes under imidazole class of antifungal agents. And terbinafine is lanosterol synthesis inhibitor. And mechanism of action of azoles is ergosterol synthesis inhibition. Okay, next question. Which of the following drugs induce hepatic metabolism of other drugs? Chlorpromazine, propofol, isoniazid, carbamazepine. Drugs induce hepatic metabolism of other drugs. And correct answer is option D, carbamazepine. Carbamazepine induce hepatic metabolism of other drugs. Next question. A car driver complains of allergic rhinitis. Which of the following you should suggest? Cyclizine, fexofenadine, diphenhydramine, chlorpheniramine. And the correct answer of this question is option B, fexofenadine. Because of its lower potential to induce drowsiness, fexofenadine may be recommended for a car driver complaints of allergic rhinitis. Okay, next question. Which of the following is indicated in acute therapy of atrial flutter or fibrillation? Intravenous verapamil, amiodarone, procainamide, mexiletine. And the drug which is indicated in acute therapy of atrial flutter or fibrillation is intravenous verapamil. Option A will be your correct answer. Verapamil is a calcium channel blocker, amiodarone is potassium channel blocker, and procainamide and mexiletine are sodium channel blockers, and these all are antiarrhythmic drugs. Okay, next question. Which of the following should be avoided in a patient with a history of severe anaphylactic reaction to sulfa medications? Furosemide, hydrochlorothiazide, amiloride, mannitol. Which drug should be avoided in patient with a history of severe anaphylactic reaction to sulfa medications? And the answer of this will be option B, hydrochlorothiazide. Hydrochlorothiazide should be avoided in a patient with a history of severe anaphylactic reaction to sulfa medications, because hydrochlorothiazide contains sulfa moiety within its chemical structure, so it is important to avoid hydrochlorothiazide in patients who are having sulfa drug allergy. Okay, and this furosemide is a loop diuretic, amiloride is a potassium sparing diuretic, mannitol is a osmotic diuretic, and hydrochlorothiazide is a thiazide diuretic with sulfa moiety within its chemical structure. Okay, next question. Drug of choice in febrile convulsions in children: valproic acid, phenytoin, gabapentin, carbamazepine. So drug of choice in febrile convulsion in children is valproic acid. Option A will be your correct answer. Next question. Desmopressin is used in the treatment of type 2 diabetes mellitus, diabetes insipidus, nocturnal enuresis, both B and C. Desmopressin is used in the treatment of, and the correct answer of this question is option D, both B and C, diabetes insipidus and nocturnal enuresis. Desmopressin is used in the treatment of diabetes insipidus and nocturnal enuresis. Okay, next question. Digoxin toxicity increased with hypokalemia, hypermagnesemia, renal failure, all of the above. Digoxin toxicity increased with, and the correct answer will be option D, all of the above. Hypokalemia, hypermagnesemia and renal failure. Okay, next question. Which is important to monitor in patients taking digoxin? Potassium, sodium, chloride or zinc? So side effects associated with digoxin is hypokalemia, which can be leads to cardiac toxicity. So it is very important to monitor potassium levels while taking digoxin. So the correct answer is option A, potassium. Option A will be your correct answer. It is important to monitor potassium level in patients taking digoxin. Okay, next question. Routine medication for influenza virus is zanamivir, fluconazole, influenza vaccine, all of the above. Routine medication for influenza virus, and the correct answer of this question is influenza vaccine. Option C will be your correct answer. Next question. One of the following symptoms is not side effect of morphine: constipation, diarrhea, vomiting, respiratory depression. And the correct answer is option B, diarrhea. Diarrhea is not a side effect of morphine. Constipation, vomiting and respiratory depression, these are the side effects of morphine. Okay, next question. Which antibiotic can cause hyperkalemia? Trimethoprim, sulfamethoxazole, amoxicillin, azithromycin, ciprofloxacin. Which antibiotic can cause hyperkalemia? And the answer will be option A, trimethoprim and sulfamethoxazole. These antibiotic can cause hyperkalemia. Next question. 50-year-old patient on Plavix 75 mg is preparing for surgery. What is the most recommended in this patient? Increase the dose of Plavix, check INR, stop Plavix, reduce the dose of Plavix. 50-year-old patient on Plavix 75 mg is preparing for surgery. What is the most recommended in this patient? Now tell me, what is Plavix? Plavix is generic name for clopidogrel, and clopidogrel is an antiplatelet agent, and antiplatelet agents increase the risk of bleeding. So these agents are recommended to stop before surgery, at least 5 to 7 days before surgery. So option C will be your correct answer. Stop Plavix. Okay. Okay friends, thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video. Till then, do like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.